Welcome back to the SportsMax Zone. Can the Windies turn around their dismal form to defend a World T20 title? Well, the dodgy form of the West Indies continues to persist ahead of their World T20 title defence in Oman and the UAE. Phil Simmons' men were well beaten in their two warm-up games and are not inspiring much confidence ahead of Saturday's tournament opener against England. The Caribbean side first went down to Pakistan by 7 wickets. That defeat was followed by a 56-run defeat at the hands of Afghanistan. With the likes of Chris Gayle and vice-captain Nicholas Pooran struggling for form and Andre Russell looking scratchy after his recent injury woes, there are serious questions about whether the Caribbean men can blast their way to a third World T20 title. Right, so George and Lance, of course, this discussion, everybody has been talking about it. We're wondering if they can flip the switch as we get ready for the first match on Saturday.
Yeah, so let me just get this out of the way before we have our guest waiting. So let me just do this quickly. So I took the trouble of looking back at the Windies, all of the Windies T20 internationals. So since 2006, the West Indies have played 144 T20 games. In this year, 2021, they've played more T20 games in 2021 than they've done in any year since 2006 when they played their first. So they have played 17 T20 games in 2021. The other year where they played a lot, they played 15 in 2018, and they played They played 15 in 2014. They played 11 in 2016. Right. In the 6 games before they won the 2012 ICC World T20, they went into the tournament losing 3 of those 6 games and winning 3. Going into the last T20 tournament that they won in 2016. In the 6 games before the 2016 tournament, they played 6 games, won 3, lost 2, and had 1 no result. I'm mentioning those numbers to appeal for calm from the fans.
All right.
Those fans who are quite antsy and anxious about the form of the team and form. Calm. Right? Again, going into 2012, 6 games going in, lost 3, won 3. Going into 2016, played 6, lost 2, 1 no result, 3 wins. Calm. And again, when you look at the fact, in the 2 World Cups that the West Indies have won, they've won 10 games. They lost 3 because they lost 2 in the first one.
Yeah.
In the 2012 tournament, they lost their first game and had no result in the second game, so they were well behind the 8-1 and they came good. So I'm just saying, calm.
Yeah, but George, heading into 2012 and 2016 when they won, they were sort of half and half, losing, winning in the 6 games prior.
Yes.
What's the record now?
No, but I'm saying
6 games going in.
Yeah. But I'm saying,
I think it's 1 win and 5 losses.
But there's no doubt. There have been 3 no results in the 6 games going in. There have been 3 no results, 1 win and 2 defeats.
Okay.
Right.
I'm saying that it's not as if our form going into the 2 tournaments that we won, Mariah, was brilliant to suggest that this is the form team going to win the tournament.
Yes, true.
No problem. All right. Well, to add to this discussion, we're going to invite now, he's with us, Cardigan Connor. Welcome.
Thank you very much indeed. And just to say that I think George, if he was a betting man, he wants to make the West Indies one of the favorites on previous form of the World Cups. But I'm sure Lance would say that the West Indies are definitely a rank outsider at this stage on current form.
Yeah.
Well, you know what, Cardi? I'd buy them win and place.
Right.
Actually, Cardi, I wouldn't say they are rank outsiders, but I would safely say they're not favorites, but not rank outsiders.
Right, yeah, I'll take that back because to tell you what, when it comes to natural talent, the West Indies team has got it. What we've asked of the West Indies, of any team, is to play as a team and not as a group of individuals. And again, if you go back to the 2 World Cups that the West Indies won, at the end of the day, it was about talent, I think, that came together that end up winning those tournaments. The thought of what Marlon Samuels did in the last World Cup in Brathwaite. England looked as if they had a game won, but it was talent in the end that I think that came through. And to a degree, I think that's what a lot of what T20 cricket is about.
Right.
That the talented players generally will rise to the top.
So, Cardigan, is it that you're telling me, despite the fact that the West Indies, they lost their 2 warm-up matches, they will spark once the tournament begins this Saturday for them?
Well, the fact is they can look at past experience to say that they've won it before. I think when they look within the dressing room, they will see all potential match winners. But I believe the coach, one message he needs to get through to all of the players is don't leave it for the next guy up. Do the job. If you get in at the start, you try to bat all the way through. And I think when I look at the West Indies lineup, I think if we've got 4 batsmen that I think if one of them is batting at the end, I think gives us a very good chance of getting the scores that we need. Whether it's the big hitters or whether it's the potential stroke players, we've got them in the team with the experience. They just have to produce it on the day.
Yeah, and we also received some very unfortunate news this week. Fabian Allen being ruled out with an ankle injury, of course being replaced now by Akil Hussain. Was this the appropriate replacement?
A very appropriate replacement, but I think that when you use someone like Allen, he has the ability to hit the ball out of the park. He also has the ability of being one of the best fielders in world cricket. And again, when it comes to one-day matches, especially T20, you need that degree of brilliance. Either if you got to face 6 balls and can score a quick 24, quick 30, or take a spectacular catch that probably would go for 6. This, again, can be a big game changer. As a bowler, yes, Hussain will do a very good job, but as an all-round cricketer, the West Indies will miss the services of Allen.
Yeah, Cardigan, during your 15-year career at the Hampshire Cricket Club in England, there was no T20 cricket around. So as a player during your playing days, T20 cricket wasn't something that you were exposed to. From where you sit, why is it that the West Indies appears to be so potent in the T20 game and not so for the ODIs or Test cricket?
You know, the truth is, I think it's the application. The West Indies, for whatever reason, have always been a talented team. You know, you go back to Larry Constantine. The natural talent was there, and it is still there today. You know, the fact is, Pollard can hit 6 sixes. Gale on his day is one of the most destructive batsmen. You know, Bravo, again, no one bowls a better slow ball than him. You know, Andre Russell, again, all of these are potential match winners. And I think the T20 matches suits them. It's fast-paced and it's hype. A lot of it is the hype. When it comes to the 50-over game, I think some of them are a little bit long in the tooth. But T20 suits them fine right now.
Yeah, how do you rate Kieron Pollard as the team leader here for this West Indies team? Because he's a very aggressive captain. He hates to lose more than most sportsmen I know. How encouraged are you by Pollard's leadership style and what he will offer to the West Indies in this tournament?
But he's a winner. He's a winner. Again, you have to look to see that what he has done at Mumbai, you know, the fact that he's been there with them for how many years? 12 years now. And they see him as, well, with Rohit Sharma as the #1 captain, Pollard is the one that steps in. And, you know, Pollard, again, having the likes of Bravo, Dwayne Bravo, of course, you know, you've got Foran as the vice captain, but there's no lacking experience. And Pollard, again, getting back to him, there's no shortage of confidence because he's done it all around the world. And I think for him, he really wants to win for the West Indies because I think in his career and the potential he's had over the years, he probably hasn't fulfilled his talent, the ability natural talent that he has with winning. And this is a great opportunity for him.
Carney, I want to point out something to you and ask you what you expect from, and it's another captain-related question. But here's the thing. Here are the numbers, Carney. Darren Sammy, in the 2 times that he captained the West Indies to the World T20 trophy, his contribution with bat and ball almost negligible. And I say almost because one run is significant in cricket. You and I know that very well. But listen to these numbers, Cardi. With the bat in T20 World Cup history, Darren Sammy in the 2012 campaign, his highest score was 26 not out. Apart from that 26, he made 12, 4, 1 and 11. That helped the Windies to win the competition. In 2016 with the bat, Darren Sammy's top score was 6. He made 0, 6, 2 and he didn't bat on 3 occasions. With the ball, Cardi, in 2012, Darren Sammy had none for 15, 1 for 23, none for 13, none for 28, 1 for 35, and he had 2 for 6. Then, in the 2016 triumph, he had 1 wicket in the entire tournament, and those were championship winning tournaments for the West Indies. Now, in terms of the contribution from the captain, we had a captain who those were his numbers. That was his contribution, and we won. Do we have a team strong enough this cycle to effectively carry a captain where runs and wickets are concerned?
Yes, I do. Again, as I said, that we have got a team that has a great potential of winning the World Cup. I think, unfortunately, the current form would not suggest that they would start as one of the favorites. But I guarantee you that most teams would not want to play the West Indies. I think the biggest challenge for the West Indies right now is being a lot of the challenges off the field that has not been helping the team spirit.
But hold on, Cardi. Hold on, Cardi. Just before you go there, and team spirit, we'll come back to that. But I'm saying the 2016 World Cup triumph, when in terms of numbers, we carried our captain, and we know that the captain's contribution is more than that. And Sammy is the motivator in chief. But that was 5 years ago. 5 years ago, Chris Gayle was still the most dangerous man with bat in hand in T20 cricket. 5 years ago, Bravo was an even better bowler than he is now, some would say. Kieron Pollard was different at that time. And then 2012 was 9 years ago. Chris Gayle was even more devastating, potentially, than he was now, compared to now, and the last World Cup. So I'm saying, we've gone several cycles along the road. Is this team, in real terms, still strong enough to carry a captain as it did in 2012 and 2016?
Well, again, you're asking me, are they starting as one of the favorites to win it? I say it's one of the outsiders to win it. And regarding, again, it is a case of how the players can gel together, how they can accept the responsibilities on the day that's required. And I think for Darren Sammy, he'll consider himself fortunate to have had that team or those teams to help him to win those World Cups. Again, you'll have to say individual performances in the last World Cup, again with Brathwaite, again against someone like Ben Stokes, that hit 3, 4 sixes in a row. Marlon Samuels batting all the way through. So I think the West Indies over the years have been teams that have played under high negatives. If you tell me I can't, I'll prove to you that I can. And maybe the team is psyching themselves up exactly that way. Yes, I do think that there is potential within that team to win the World Cup. But it's going to require still the players playing not just for themselves, but for the captain and for the region on a whole.
Yeah, and lastly, Cardi, we have about 30 seconds left. You were saying there were some off-field things that you think could affect the team?
Well, I did not appreciate the banter with Gayle and Ambrose. In fact, I think Gayle should not have responded to that. What Ambrose said was fair enough. As an analyst, he did say, and as a selector, it's not, if he was a selector, he probably wouldn't have Gayle in his starting lineup. And you can't blame him for that. So I don't think Gayle should have reacted to that. I didn't think that Pollard needed to react. Nor did Phil Simmons. Just focus on the team you have there and go out and win the World Cup.
All right, Cardi, well, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us. And of course, we're wishing the West Indies best of luck. We'll connect with you again.
Absolute pleasure. Good night.
Thank you so much. All right, so we have a lot of on our cards, a lot of analysis, but George and Lance, it's only when the first ball bowls, then we can, start to discuss again.
Yeah, and I don't want to be unfair to Darren Sammy because I think there are so many people who are quick to say, oh, but George, those numbers that you just read shows that the World Cup successes owe nothing to Darren Sammy's real contributions with bat and ball because in real terms, he's severely short of runs and short of wickets. Only 1 wicket in 2016, but it's more than that. A captain's role is more than that. And the intangibles that are important to a talented team coming together, which is most important, Darren Sammy, his contribution perhaps can't be replicated by anybody else. So you have to applaud him for the role he played, even though the bat and ball registers weren't of significant note.
All right. Well, let's take a look at what we decided. I picked
I
my
hear
11.
that you picked a starting.
I'm practicing for when I become West Indies selector. Let's see. Let's see my 11. Where is it? All right. So I went with Evan and Lendl to open. Chris Gayle did make my 11. He's batting number 3. Puran is the wicketkeeper. Of course, Kieran Pollard captain. Hetty will be batting for me. Andrew Russell as well. Akil Hussain, he will be my bowler. I'm hoping he gets a lot of wickets. Dwayne Bravo is there as my threat. Right, he'll do the magic trick when I need him. Obed McCoy and Hayden Walsh Jr.
All right.
What about you? What about you? Who's next?
Team at all?
No, of course, I selected.
Yeah. So I didn't put them in order. But anyway, Pollard, Puran, DJ, Chase. You didn't have Chase in your team, did you?
No.
No, she didn't. Yeah.
Chris Gayle, Hetty, Evan, of course, Dre Russ, Obed McCoy, Hayden Walsh, and Lennell Simmons. And let me tell you, I thought long and hard about Ravi Rampal in my team, I must tell you. Yeah? I had him in there and then I had to scratch him at the last minute. But guess what? This is my team. Chase has to be in my team. Chase is the form guy. And Chase is going to play the Marlon Samuels innings that we will need as the tournament goes on. I think you overlooked Chase.
I don't know why I would do that.
Yeah, I think you slipped.
So we revisit that.
So scratch Mariah's 11.
Oh, you will?
Scratch Mariah's
Chase is in.
Or let me put my hand up immediately and saying that Gayle is not in my 11. I'm pretty certain he will play. So I think he will play. But if I was picking the team, he would not play the opening match. He's struggling. So I have Evan Lewis and Lendl Simmons opening, Hetmar, Chase, Puran, Polly, Dre Russ, Dwayne Bravo, Hayden Walsh, Ravi Rampal and Obed McCoy.
So we have the same team, Lance, except I picked Gayle and you picked Ravi Rampal.
Yes.
Yeah. And I told you, I had Ravi Rampal in my 11 up to the point where I pressed send and I scratched him at the last minute.
Well, to be honest with you, I know Obed McCoy has been doing fairly good work for us, since he entered the team, but he doesn't have the experience.
Yes.
Ravi Rampal has the experience. I'm not too over the moon with Ravi Rampal's fitness levels and so on, but he has a lot of experience, so I put him in there. I know there's a lot of discussion about Gayle and so on, and I'm pretty certain Gayle is going to play. But I just think Gayle is struggling. The last 8 innings that Gayle has played for the West Indies, he has scored a total of 138 runs, including a 67.
Not good.
So you must know that there are a lot of single digits in there. And let me point out quickly that I had Gayle in my squad to go. But I agree with Ambrose that he's not an automatic selection. And hence, he doesn't make my 11 for the first game.
No, he makes mine because I need to see what he does in the first game.
Yeah, but it's England. It's the first game.
But he has history against England.
Yeah, he does. History is the operative term.
Yeah, but he's the second highest scorer in World Cup history. So you have to start
history.
But you have to start.
You have to give him the opportunity.
I don't think you have to.
Give him the opportunity to prove himself.
And that's why he's going to start.
Yeah, he's starting. All right, gentlemen, we're taking a quick break. Maybe I'll be back with Zone Update. Maybe Lance will be at the track. Stay with us.